she talks to the prisoner and gets like as many descriptions as she can from him, and then goes on Instagram Live and says, "Hey, can you find a lion statue next to a blue door?" Like,
Dude.
you have access to a SWAT team, and you go on Instagram Live. Excuse me?
I was like, "Where's Steve?" Because this is some Blues Clues going on.
Yes, exactly.
What the bro?
That's good right there. It's mail.
Yeah, get on your thinking chair, get your handy dandy notebook out, because it's
The
Blues
handy dandy
Clues
notebook.
time.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was.
Hi, this is Colonel Deathcare Society. For just as little as $3 a month, you can help feed Zigzag all the pizza for a week. If you want to become a member, check our website at deathcaresociety.com. Then click on the membership tab.
Of course, special thanks to our members and our final girls and guys. We'll start with them. Christy Facciani. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, correct me, please, because I want to get names right. But Christy, thank you for signing up. C-Phase, Lorena BD, Alex, Robert, and then, of course, thanks to our crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn enchilada pod. And, of course, to our camp counselors, Adam, Corey, Christy again, because she originally signed up as this, and just yesterday, I think, or today, signed up as the final girl.
You can upgrade.
I got to figure out how to cancel one of those and not charge her twice.
You goddamn right you have. Who should?
Yeah.
It should be. It's easy. I actually know how to do it. I didn't notice it until today, so I got to fix that after the show. But yes, special thanks to our camp counselors, Adam, Corey, Christy, Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck Schick, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ. Let's get into it with, first off, the anticipation and marketing. Based on the first trailer, I was kind of looking forward to this because I thought this was an excellent concept. Colonel, I'll start with you on this one.
No,
what did you think of the marketing?
The anticipation, like I said, the concept I thought was great with the first trailer. I really did. I was like, man, this is something I haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to it. But then, as we all know, the folly of modern horror, the marketing kind of sucked because you gave me the fucking movie before I even seen it. Let's be honest. Like, you started off so well, and then you shit the bed.
Well, you're getting into the movie, though. We're just talking about anticipation. And
Well, you say anticipation and marketing. I count trailers as marketing. You're marketing that movie.
Right.
So, I'm saying Halloween 2018, folks.
Yep.
I pieced it together before I entered the theater. Kind of did the same with Trap.
Yep.
And Pet Cemetery. So.
We can go on and on.
Yes.
Fayez, what about you? What did you think of the trailer and the marketing, and how'd that boost your anticipation for this movie?
God, I never remember trailers for movies, but I do remember seeing, M. Night Shyamalan. It's like name in the trailer and being like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm sure we'll be watching that, and sure enough, we will be, and we have. I don't know, man. I didn't think much about it.
Okay.
Beforehand, even the marketing, like it didn't impact me like it did you guys. Clearly.
Well, Ziggy, yeah, I guess you're my saving hope on this. Do you have anything important to add to your anticipation of this movie before it came out, before we saw it? And he's like, no, fuck it, move on.
No. Actually, the whole thing is, we said we've been to the movies quite a bit these last couple of months, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And this fucking trailer's been at every single one of them the whole way. We've seen it every 8-9 times. I've seen this fucking trailer. So, yeah, I dug the concept going into it for sure. But I mean, anticipation was fucking way low because I was just sick of seeing the goddamn trailer, man. Like, I get it. And I see it up. We're going to a concert. This guy's a serial killer who loves his daughter. We're going to try to escape. That's what we know. And go. You know, so, I mean, I've been burned by Shyamalan so many fucking times. I was just like, I wasn't expecting much at all here.
Okay. Wow.
What'd you expect us to say? We're crank as fuck for this movie? Because I mean, to be honest, it's not like Shyamalan, man. Like, it's like
No, dude. Like I said, I really dug the concept of this, and I liked a couple of his last ones. Old was okay, but I really like Knock at the Cabin. So I thought, man, you know what? He's
back.
He's kind of delivering a little bit more than he has in the past. And because this concept was kind of so fresh and so new, maybe not completely original, but the setting for sure was original, and that just added to the anticipation for me, at least. But yeah, as we talk about quite a bit, the trailer itself gives away too much. But I thought about this for a little bit. Would there have been a way, and guys, if you haven't seen the trailer, this is a spoiler that's about to come out, so I will mention this. But if you've seen the trailer, you know. In the trailer, they pretty much reveal that Josh Hartnett is the butcher. He's the criminal that the police are trying to capture at this concert. Would there have been a way to market this movie or do a trailer without giving that away? Because I'm not sure, man. I'm not really sure they could have. Not. Colonel, how about you?
I think you could have. You could have. Hey, it's a trap. We're here to catch a serial killer. Josh Hartnett's there with his daughter. You could have spun that, and it's just a father trying to protect his daughter at this concert. There's a killer there. You know, you don't know what's going on. They could have done it. It would have been very misleading, though.
Dude, you got it. I mean, I totally would have taken this the way, because he's so wholesome with his daughter, and even in the trailer. I would have just had glimpses like, oh, he caught wind. There's a serial killer here. You know, we don't necessarily know it's him, but now he's in protection mode. It almost turns into Sudden Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme, or I had another one. I forgot what it is. But I mean, you know what I mean? He's actually trying to stop something from going down. And, you know, but we already knew. The trailer reveals completely he is the serial killer right away, and this is an escape mission.
Okay, you just said exactly what I was trying to elicit out of one of you guys. You just said it.
All right.
I don't think there's enough clips or scenes from this movie that you could have portrayed, even in a 2-minute trailer or a 90-second trailer. I don't think you could have portrayed Josh Hartnett's character as a hero trying to protect his daughter. Plus, keep in mind, this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie who's famous for his twist. And if that trailer that you guys just described was put out there, everyone would have guessed, oh, well, Josh Hartnett's a serial killer, you know.
Maybe.
So.
Maybe. I think give people too much credit. Just being honest.
That's true. I've been out in public a lot the last week or so, and yeah, you may have a point there, Colonel, actually. So, FaZe, any thoughts on that? Could they have done the trailer and the marketing a little bit differently to disguise that big spoiler?
I don't know. I'm kind of on your side on that one. I think there is just too much alluding to him being the serial killer to hide it. At least in this. I mean, yeah, it would have been misleading as fuck not to, but it also would have been really difficult to quick cut and edit that and make it seem that way. It's easier to just
fuck that. It could have been.
Out. I can't even think of what the twist was for this film. Now that you kind of mentioned that, because M. Night is known for his twist.
That's
but
it.
There wasn't really a fucking
no.
twist.
There's an end twist, which I said it's like a
sort of
a puddle. It's a fucking pebble into the fucking lake.
Right.
I can't even think of what it was.
Well, I'm telling you guys right now, I already know there are not enough scenes in the film to do this. Yes, there is. Do like another trend with new horror movies and trailers. Slow the footage down, spread it out, slow it down as much as you can, drag that shit out. Pick a popular song and slow that shit down and make it sound ominous.
Yeah, just the classic Colonel, you know the one.
The old gray man, he ain't what he used to be. Something like that.
That was like 2.5 minutes, man. You got it.
Did we just redo the trailer?
I think we did.
You know what's funny? I didn't even get to move on to, since we already started talking about it. I didn't get to move on to the next graphic, which was trailer mistakes, since we're kind of already there. But
8 out of 10 events are spoiled in the trailer.
Right. That was a big one. That was a big one. But dude, still, I so much like this concept of, and I can't remember where I read this, but I heard he pitched it as like a serial killer is being hunted at a Taylor Swift concert. Yeah. And that's kind of what it was. So I like the idea.
Lady Raven, is that what her name was?
Yeah. Well, it's Knight's daughter, like real life daughter. And we'll get into that here in a minute too.
Yeah, I kind of see the double agenda here with the sound. Even though I was tapping my foot a couple times, God damn it.
Oh, bull. Yeah.
Bullshit.
So I'll give everyone a sneak peek at one of the topics that we're going to be covering near the end. But Vanity Project?
Yeah. Oh man.
So
I already have the perfect comparison for that, so I'm ready for that fucking topic, man.
Oh, you're ready, huh?
I'm ready.
Right. And Tarek also says it would have been the perfect twist with that trailer that he's actually got a vendetta against the killer and he's taking the opportunity to hunt him. Well,
and again, now we're kind of back to that sudden death with Jean-Claude Van Damme during a hockey game. They have the hockey game and it's going to blow up. I mean,
right.
It's same but different. But
right.
I actually, if we're going, man, I did dig the fucking setup and how it was going down. I mean, it was pretty good. Here we go.
Let's go there. Act 1 pre-show. Start it off, Ziggy.
I will continue. Yeah, he gets right away. They're going to this concert. It's obviously this is the new thing. It's Lady Gaga. It's Taylor Swift. 13-year-old girl. And almost, getting there.
Approximately 13.
Young girl, very young girl, preteen. Right. And they're there. He's got floor seats. But then as we get there, this is when he reveals, he looks at his phone. He goes in the bathroom, and you see he's got a guy, but he seems like a normal fucking dad. He's very protective. And, Josh Hartnett, he kind of assumed that dad role. He's come a long way since H2O and this fucked up haircut, So, I mean,
he's still got some fucked up hair in this.
Yeah, he's a man. He still does have fucked up hair. But he's a man now, and he's believable as a dad to me. So that's what it is getting him into the concert, the whole first act. But I loved the concert aesthetic here, too. It actually felt like you were at a fucking show. Colonel.
Dude, no, I'm right there with you, man. You nailed the fucking nail on the head. For one, though, I don't know how he can afford those fucking floor seats. Just saying, have you not seen concert ticket prices lately?
Especially if it's like a Taylor Swift. Those are fucking, that would have been $1,200 a piece for those, for row 44.
I mean, that's how I knew I was watching a fucking movie. But you're right. It definitely felt like a concert. Felt like a hyped up arena show.
Yep.
It did great. And what I liked about that was that felt so anti-Shyamalan.
Yeah.
You guys felt that? I was like,
yeah, because
he's pretty serious, and it's like he's actually kind of having fun with this, It's a tight area. And
he puts you right in the crowd, man. It's cool. You're standing right next to the fucking killer the whole time, dude. It's fucking great.
Right. But yeah, I like Colonel's point on that because, it is normally his films are very compressed in a small area, small cast. This was fucking huge with 20,000 extras.
25,000 extras, man. In this fucking arena. And I was looking around, and you know what? They were all kind of doing pretty good. I didn't catch anyone fucking up.
Well, and they did a pretty cool thing with this. I guess Salika, his daughter. Yeah. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know.
Is she really an artist like this?
She is a musician. Yeah, she is a musician. And here's part of the thing that I didn't like about this, or at least once I found this out. He wrote this as like he wanted to do a concert film for his daughter. But then when he started writing this, it turned into a little bit more, but he still wanted to kind of focus on his daughter and some of her songs and stuff like that. And then she ended up writing like 8 or 10 new songs for this soundtrack for the concert.
Is she called Lady Raven in real life?
No.
Okay.
Her name is Salika.
Salika.
She just goes by the one name.
That's cool.
Like Madonna,
I saw Shyamalan in the credits under the music, and I went, okay, here we go.
Well, yeah. Well, no. I mean, in that credit, she goes by Salika Shyamalan. Yes, but yeah. So he does this as like a concert film for his daughter. But the clever thing they did was for all the extras they hired, they sent them these 8-10 songs and said, learn them because we're going to want you singing them in the crowd as she's performing. And they did shoot it like a concert film, a lot of it.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, it was like you were at a concert in the 45th row.
Mm-hmm.
And but then that's like, at this time he's just enjoying his daughter's glee and joy. Her watching the concert, he's loving it.
Well, we're not even to really the concert yet, Act 1. No.
Well, I mean, him kind of gets right. You know what I mean? They go. That's when nothing happens before that. What happened?
Well, I mean, just the setup of them, their characters, especially. Let's talk about it. Meet the Butcher, Josh Hartnett as Cooper.
He's like the perfect Ted Bundy, like kind of just trusting, just warm, friendly. He's good, man. He's really good in this role.
That serial killer next door.
Yeah, I mean,
he did make some quirky choices, but I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the way he played it. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but I did like their father-daughter dynamic, especially when they're talking about like the term crispy and jelly.
Yeah. It was really funny.
For God's sake.
I mean, the dad jokes. I mean, anytime a dad joke comes, every kid cringes, and they did a pretty good job with that interacting.
Colonel, was that accurate with a preteen girl?
That is 100% accurate. I live to see this face. That's how I know it's really fucking good. Like that was a good one.
Yeah.
That's where Colonel wins. Point for Colonel.
I mean, and he's got to go to the bathroom. But he doesn't want. He's like, listen, you want to stay here and watch the show, or you want to come with? And that's a scene right there where I was kind of like going, I kind of misread it. It's the OCD thing, kind of first time you see the OCD thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. And I was like, okay.
But that plays out.
And it looks like something else. Yeah.
But that plays out through the rest of the movie too. The whole OCD thing. FaZe, what about you? Did you like the father-daughter dynamic and the introduction of Josh Hartnett?
Yeah, it was good. He's a really good pickpocket too. I don't know if that's getting into spoiler territory at all, but I mean, we pretty much we know he's the bad guy here. He occasionally has to be sneaky and kind of, almost become a spy movie in some parts. It was kind of funny, but fucking, it was well played.
James Bond would have been proud.
Little James Bondy, yeah. A little bit.
I'm telling you, he's a lost member of the Sticky Bandits.
Nah.
Sorry, I had to throw it in there because that's what I thought.
That'd be funny. But yeah, no, he was good. He was one of the, I guess, realer aspects of the movie, despite him being a killer. I guess because there was a lot of things in this. There were a lot of things in this that was like, come on, and it involves a lot of the other characters.
Okay.
But we'll get there when we get there.
Well, the other main character, his daughter, Haley, is that right? No.
Oh, shit. You got to see more reason I am. Help me out.
Riley.
That's it.
Yeah.
Played by Ariel Donahue. Oh, if I would just click the button, it would have been right there. That's why I did that, because I couldn't remember her damn name. But yeah, Ariel Donahue as Riley. I thought she nailed this. It was just like a kid at a Taylor Swift concert. and I thought she did a great job most of the way through, especially in the beginning. I love their connection and their dynamic when it came to the beginning and the act one. Anything to add on that?
I'm just going to say nothing. She did a great fucking job. It was hard for me to like her because back in the 7th grade, the oldest was having issues with a little shit named Riley. So as soon as it was Riley, I was like, man, fuck that kid.
She's got a bully in this too. You know, like
fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. That's right. Yeah.
I say, yeah. I mean, I found myself smiling along a couple of times with her joy. She's that good. I mean, it was beaming off the screen. So
I mean, it really was. And like I said, as a girl dad, this shit hits different for me. Like that's the world I live in. I mean, except for Taylor Swift, it's BTS. You know what I'm saying? It's the stuff I have to listen to. But
I don't have any girls, but I did really feel the dad stuff connecting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot, pretty strong. So
Yeah.
way around.
Yeah. About your dogs again, though. Paula says those are demons in a cute
They
disguise,
sure are, man.
and yes, they are. One of them did not like me the entire fucking weekend.
I tried to. I even walked up and I had them just like I was holding them here, and they're relaxed. But she was just kept stiffening up and kind of juking her head, kind of
Give
like
me that. Give me that.
That 13 ghost cucking that. So we didn't need to fuck around, man, and get crank bit before we were going to a convention.
No, I was gonna get nipped to death. FaZe, anything else to add on Ariel's Riley?
Not really. I mean, she did really well as well.
All right.
Playing that excited teenager in a concert just kind of brings you back a little bit.
All right. Well, damn, we're booking right along. Let's get into Act 2, bitches. The concert and backstage area. Ziggy's already kind of covered it a little bit.
Reached the concert. He's enjoying the concert through his daughter, with his daughter, giving her. She got all A's and B's on a report card. So this is her reward, and probably the only reason he would take a chance like this.
FaZe, concert and backstage of Act 2. You know, that whole section, because this movie is clear Act 1, clear Act 2, clear Act 3. I think because pretty much when they leave the concert, that's Act 3. So
sure. So. I mean, this is where it kind of started to lose me. As usual, I feel like I've been saying that a lot in these last few movies. Yeah, it's starting to lose me in Act 2. But, fuck. Like, and the reason here is because, like, the dad, like, he talks to somebody, like, some backstage, like, the uncle of the singer or something, or supposedly so, and tells her, he lies to her about his daughter, Riley, having leukemia. And he's like, oh, hang on, what are your seats? You know, and they ends up getting her, you know, backstage and also like this like special role on the fucking on stage where you get to dance with the star, whatever her name is, something Raven. It's just all
Lady
this
Raven,
shit
yeah.
that would never happen in a gajillion fucking years. And
Well,
it's just,
but-
I don't know.
It's at the end of the second act, though, kind of.
Yeah.
but that's also
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
showing off
jumping a
his.
little bit, but it's like,
But that's showing off his manipulation skills.
Sure.
sure,
So-
I can understand that, but it's like, fuck, like.
I mean, you got to remember, he found out it was a trap by saying one sentence to the merch guy. And I tell you what, man, it's a trap for a serial killer. You should want the shirt in extra small, or you want it medium? Like,
Yeah,
that's-
right. You know, I mean, and that was fun, you know, and him pretending to forget his credit card there so he could get away. You know, he's a sneaky motherfucker. He's just a little too lucky in his success, I guess, because you would never, like, most people at a concert be like, your kid is leukemia. I'm sorry to hear that. We might, you know,
Right.
might be able to get you backstage, but on stage, get the fuck out of here.
There were plenty of plot contrivances that were
Just too linear, man.
a little too lucky, like you just said.
Yeah.
There was
I like
one that,
linear too, like Ziggy.
yeah, the one that I noticed was mid-show, and they go out to look for a T-shirt. Both of them,
Yeah.
that 13-year-old kid's not leaving that seat
No.
until the lights come on.
It's
like-
a wardrobe change, you know. I mean, what the fuck? you
But
know?
Normally, that's like 40 seconds
Right.
in a
They
show
walk
anymore.
off. They don't. It's like 4 measures, and they're back out in a new outfit. So yeah,
Right.
that didn't line up.
Right. And, you know, she's even there. They hear the next song starting or whatever after they've been out there for 5-10 minutes. That would have never happened.
No.
Not with like a big fan.
Even towards the end of the first act, he's starting to notice the police presence all around. You know.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fuck, you know, what's going on? And then that's when he goes and asks the vendor the guy's like, hey, you're
Jamie.
good looking out, man. He goes, you know what? Because I'm going to get another box. I'll be back later. Just give me 10 minutes. I'll get you a small shirt. And he's like, yeah, thanks. And then, hey, what's going on with the cops, you know? And, oh, man, I ain't supposed to say nothing, you know? And
That
he
was
lays
another
out.
one.
Which
Yeah.
That
fucking
was
drove
another one.
that drove me up a wall because it's like if you planned this, it would have been hell of a lot more secretive than what it fucking was.
Oh yeah.
I
No.
highly doubt, the SWAT be taking coffee breaks in the back with the regular fucking folks and discussing what they're going to. It's just like, what the fuck?
That
See,
was
I-
absurd for sure.
Well, you guys
That's
are
what I kind of liked about Act 1 and 2. It did not feel, it was stupid, but like in fun. That's not M. Night Shyamalan, man. Like it did not. Like
Yeah.
I actually felt like he's having fun with this one.
It didn't
There we
lose
go.
me. I wasn't lost with it. I enjoyed myself through most of those first 2 acts.
There we go. Perfect. Tarek says, exposition guy, always so helpful. Yeah. Yeah. This was a good one. And
Yeah.
there's one scene.
Dude,
There's one scene where he's talking with the Jamie, the vendor. Hold on. There's one scene where he's like, "Hey, I got to go down to the warehouse, or not the warehouse, but the storage, and get more shirts." So they go all the way down to the storage area, get a huge box of what I assume are small concert T-shirts or just concert T-shirts. They pull like 4 out. He gives one to the guy, to Cooper, and then they walk outside and leave the rest of the box there. Like, you're out of small. Take the whole fucking box out there. What
That's
the
a good
hell?
point.
And I know Zag probably knows better than I do. I've been in enough shows to know they're not storing shirts down in the fucking storage area of the arena. They're packing them up,
That's
putting them.
true.
There's going to be multiple merch booths around the arena,
right.
circling around. That's
Mhm.
where it's going to be. It's not going to be down in the elevator. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
if there is, there's a closet close by, a storage room that has them, or a vendor, a cafeteria, one of the food parts, they'll shut it down and they'll just stick it in there. It's going to be close to all the vendors, though.
Right.
It's never going to be like that. I let that slide. That's okay.
Right.
I let that slide because he kind of showed that, like, hey, you're a good guy, play it forward. He's like, all right, and here's your knife back. Instead of, because you could tell he was thinking, I'm cutting this motherfucker's head off, right now. Because he was in the back of the arena, nobody would have known.
Right. Yeah, this movie, man, now that we're talking about it a little, face to face in a way, this movie was a lot more funny than most of Shyamalan's stuff.
This is not a horror film. Just some of the themes involved could be horror related, but this is not a horror film.
Well, and there's
Oh, shit. The first one.
no fucking kills in this. Is there?
there's
no
not that I can
kids.
remember.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think you're right. This is kind of a watered down thriller. There's going to be tons of people on social media if it gets brought up and people are talking about I love this movie, blah blah blah. There's going to be tons of comments under it where not horror.
Right.
No, it's not horror.
It had moments where it made you think a kill was gonna happen, but then one didn't
there's
happen.
tendencies, slasher tendencies and stalker tendencies, but I mean it's just light. But Shyamalan has earned his place to be reviewed amongst the other horror films. So I mean I'm okay with that too. I'm not even mad we saw this, So.
Right. No, I mean, it was a fun movie, I guess. All right. Major part of Act 2, of course, was Lady Raven, played by Salika. Any thoughts on her, Faze?
I mean, at first, she was kind of the source of all the bullshit, bringing up Riley on stage and everything. Just like, come on, what's going on here? But as they kind of get into it, I don't know how spoilery you want me to get here. That's kind of probably more Act 3.
Yeah,
when
we'll
we get
say
more into her
some
character.
of that for Act 3, yeah.
Kind of get to meet her a little more then, so you know,
Right.
probably talk a little more about it then.
Well, and it's weird because she's kind of she's not really a character in Act 1 or 2
No.
until the very end of Act 2.
I guess that's a twist that she ends up becoming a character.
Oh yes, that's something else we're going to talk about. The focus shifts, which there are several
Tons.
in this movie.
Like,
Yeah.
crap.
I was going like, but.
Well, and that comes to, well, no, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll talk about that later. Colonel, anything about Lady Raven at all in this first part?
I mean, she was your basic standard top 40 pop star. She was good at that. I mean, she wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Can't say it any better than that. Madonna, Gaga, Taylor Swift, fucking Beyonce, you name it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what you got,
That's
folks.
what she is.
That's what you got, folks.
It's believable.
Look at
As a performer, she's good. She's good. If that's
she's
her music,
good. Not
all
my
right.
type.
It's
Not my style
type
of music.
shit.
But
Exactly not my type of shit. But it would fit right in and that kind of station, a nice, rhythm and blues station or the top 40, whatever it is. She knows she's going to be sitting around that. And yeah, I heard songs that sounded very much like the songs I would hear from artists named above.
we kind of already talked about it, but the shifting focus, that was probably the least. This was the thing that bothered me the most about this movie. When it comes to like screenwriting and writing for films, most of your major scripts and movies follow what they call the hero's journey. And you can't even really say you were following the anti-hero's journey on this because, yes, for part of the movie, you're kind of following Josh Hartnett's character. And then at the end of Act 2, you start following Lady Raven. And then later on, you start kind of following somebody else. There was at least, 3 focuses that switched, and all 3 of those were very different kind of movies to me. And that was one thing I did not like. I wish it would have been more straightforward, I guess. But it was unconventional, which Shyamalan does a lot. Colonel, do you want to start this or zigzag?
I could get it out of the way.
I'll let him get it out there because this is where I'll just say at this point, this is where, because I was enjoying this movie for 2/3 of it. Once this started happening, I sucked right the fuck out. I'll be completely honest with you.
Right.
It's like you did it to me again. This is not the first time in 2024 this has happened.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Ziggy? Or was that your comment? Just that?
Yeah, it does fit totally. I mean, Josh Hartnett is involved, though, in all of these shifting focuses. He's still in the scene.
He is.
But I think that's the point. But it is a bit abrupt, and it takes you out. It sucks you out of the story when he did this. To
Okay.
me.
I'll give you an example, though. And you'll love this. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon does the same thing, but perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And they do it so
You don't
fucking
even
well.
notice the
it's a camera turn, man.
Right.
Camera turn, a camera pan, and a different movie begins.
Right.
It's great.
That works perfectly.
Yes.
But this, it just didn't for me at all. That's probably my biggest gripe about this movie.
I was more annoyed at the involvement because we all know goddamn well Lady Gaga or Lady Raven is calling security in to take care and kick stomp some heads and get that motherfucker, kill him, get him. She's not going to be doing what she did. I just don't see this ever happening on any universe and any timeline of this kind of action happening in this scenario when she already knows where we are in this fucking story. It just, I was completely out of it by then. Like, all right, if that's where we're going, okay.
FaZe, what about you? You said something earlier about the shifting of focus, so I guess it bothered you as well.
Oh, it didn't seem to bother me as much as it bothered you guys, I guess. I don't know. It was definitely weird because it was like the entire movie changed into something like it was like a genre shift because you're no longer in this concert. It's now, the scenes became more. I don't even know what genre to give it in for Act 2. I have no idea. It was different.
I just thought about this. He kind of did the same thing in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
You're watching the movie for a while, following it through, the kid's eyes, a little bit at least, and then you go through and you watch the movie again in Bruce Willis's eyes in that movie. So I guess it's a common thing he does, but yeah, this time it just didn't work.
It's just a little.
And I don't know why.
It's murkier. This
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. I mean, maybe it was rushed because this film got put together pretty quick. And he even said he wrote the script in like 4.5 months, and that was a record for him.
Oh, jeez.
It normally takes him a year or more to write most of his scripts. And so take your time, Knight.
Yeah.
Let's stick to that.
He's a hit or miss. If he takes a year, fucking nuts.
All right, Act 3, which I call the encore, which is pretty much right after the concert. It's we're spoiling it. So Cooper basically admits in a private room to Lady Raven that, hey, I'm the one you're looking for.
Well, hold on.
All of you are looking for me.
Because as the movie's progressing, you keep hearing cut-ins of the profiler saying, "Hey, he's going to do this or he's going to do this."
Mhm.
No, for sure. And he scoops the radio at one point, so he's kind of listening to their banter. So he's got an edge, and then they come to the point where right before Crank said that, she says, "Okay, there's 3,000 men in here amongst the 19,000 girls. We're going to stop every one of them. He's going to talk to one of you in the next hour. Get ready," and
Right.
so he knows he's backed into a corner, and then he says, "Hey, I need a minute with the star." After that, they had a little dance on stage. She got to perform with his daughter. He worked it in there, the little scam with the cancer. And, okay, she would really feel great if we could walk out with your entourage and maybe get a limo ride. And she's like, "Great, no problem," And then she's like, "I just need to talk to you real quick." And then Crank, go ahead. She takes her into the room and tells her.
He tells her that he's the butcher, basically. And then he shows her on his phone a guy that's tied up in some random basement. And he says, there's a box in that room that's rigged up to this phone that will release carbon monoxide and kill that guy within 5 minutes.
It's somewhere between Saw and Silence of the Lambs, this guy.
Right. Or you drive us out of here, get us through security, let me go home, and I'll let this guy live. So she is kind of put in a pickle. I can understand where some people would value the life of one and try to do something. But I think what she was really doing, which we found out later, really, was she was just stalling for time until she could figure out a way to beat this guy. I think that's what she was really doing. Not that she was going to go along with his plan, but.
Right.
That's what I thought. You mentioned that earlier about, I don't ever see Lady Gaga doing this. She'd just be like, call security. It's this motherfucker.
Man. You guys, go get that guy.
Right. Well, at that point, though, he was never more than an arm's reach away from her. So, let's see.
Proceed. So she agrees.
Go ahead. Yeah.
To take them, and they do this. They make it to the limo, and it appears because before she says that, she steps up and goes, "Okay, you guys just can go." She goes, "Hey, you think you can get us out the back way so we can avoid this?" And she's like, "Yeah, no problem. Just go through that checkpoint with the FBI and you're all set." So he's like, "Oh, that's a dead end." So we got to realize we need the limo ride with unchecked. They're all good. High sign, let them go on the way out. So they get right out with the star and just drive us a block, drop us off anywhere. Our car's close. and it looks like he's going to get away.
Ooh, but then she's like, I want to come over to your house, Riley.
And of course,
Kind of like
Riley-
that. Have you ever heard that Bruce Springsteen story a long time ago when he was in St. Louis and this kid's just like, hey, you want to come over and meet my mom? And he's like, yeah, sure. This had to have been back in like the 80s, but it was kind of like that. So they drive to Cooper's house, meet his wife, meet his other kid. Grizzly says, silence of the saw.
Silence of the Saw.
That's
We are supposed to prepare.
Unfortunately, in like 2 minutes, that's going to be a fan film that's crowdfunding on
Yeah.
Indiegogo.
Yeah.
For either Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Silence of the Lambs or maybe a mashup of all three in the Jigsaw universe.
I got to learn to keep my fucking mouth closed.
Jesus Christ.
Another $1,000 idea. Let's
Gave another one away.
Now, I will say the scenes at the house were fun, but it did drag on a little too long.
Cooper is shooting daggers at this woman the entire time. It's fantastic. It's great.
Are we trying to beat the titles now? Sawing of the Lamb. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Cooper is not liking Lady Raven in this because Lady Raven is not necessarily, she hasn't taken the power from him yet, but she's challenging him every single step of the way. FaZe, you want to jump in and talk about any of this?
I mean, there's one part that bugged me, but it would be jumping ahead a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to remember the full, like, everything that happened in the house. I mean, it's mostly the 13-year-old daughter being excited, like, oh my gosh, just this idol of mine's in my house. You want to come see my room? You want to, yeah, just all this. So kind of use, she's able to use that as a distraction to keep this butcher man from, like, I don't know. He was constantly using his cell phone and holding it up to tease her because,
Right.
that's what's. He said he could easily kill this man just like dialing an Uber
Yep.
in
Like
seconds.
all I got to do is hit a button,
Yep.
and Spencer's fucking dead. Yeah.
And it's like he was really bargaining on her caring about a stranger's life because, I mean, did they establish that she knows the Spencer guy at all?
No, but there were several moments in the concert where she was very empathetic with the audience. Like
right,
the
they do
whole,
establish that well. That's fair.
Right.
So they establish her as an empathetic personality, so that's fair. But that's pretty lucky that she cared enough about a single random life enough to put herself in this sort of ransom situation almost. And
Well, I think that's pretty much the entire reason that she had that whole conversation on stage about, my dad left when I was 7 and I decided to forgive him, at some point in my life. So
Sure.
if you've ever chosen to forgive someone and let that hate out of your heart, turn the light on your phone, that whole thing, which,
It was a little on the nose.
yeah.
well, when I first watched it, I was just like, oh my God, this is so contrived. And then I watched it again and tied it to that. I was like, oh,
It's better.
still
Yeah.
contrived, but pretty heavy-handed. Jesus.
I mean, she
Again.
knew they were after a serial killer the whole time.
Right, but again, Knight, take a little longer than 4 months to write your fucking scripts.
Yeah.
Anyway, Colonel,
Right.
any part of this you
You
want
guys
to
are
chat
fucking
about?
nailing it. Just keep on going.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of want to
You got a
get
nice
to this
momentum
part
going.
here. Fucking so at some point she gets her hands on his phone. I can't remember exactly how she did it.
Oh, she says, "Hey, let's do a selfie real quick."
And
Oh,
no
yeah,
one
she just kinda
and no one
grabs
can
it, right?
find a phone because
She already
she has
swiped.
the daughters.
She swiped Haley's phone.
Right.
And they see
Yeah.
it's under her skirt. She's like, "Oh, use your phone, Dad." Grabs it, snatches it right out of his hand, which is like,
Because he was taking a video of them at the piano
yes.
singing
Yeah.
that song.
She says she was stalling all over the place. So she's like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I'll sing a song," and like the camera plans over. There's a fucking piano there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of funny.
It
she
was
takes
a
the
good
phone.
It was a good wipe too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Where it
totally.
was just like, hey, I can play a song.
Yeah. That was a good shot. But yeah, she runs into the bathroom and locks herself in there. And the husband, the butcher, just starts freaking out. He's banging on the door. Daughter and wife are yelling at him like, "Hey, what are you doing? Why just let her go to the bathroom in peace? You know what are you doing? We're just he doesn't want her to have this phone." And the part that gets me, the part that kind of bugs me is instead of going to this like CIA-esque SWAT team ass fucking people that she was just working with, calling them and being like, "Hey, I'm with the butcher." She goes on like Instagram Live or some shit. Starts being like, she starts describing the house. Like she talks to the prisoner and gets like as many descriptions as she can from him, and then goes on Instagram Live and says, "Hey, can you find a lion statue next to a blue door?" Like,
Dude,
you have access to a SWAT team and you go on Instagram Live? Excuse me?
I was like, "Where's Steve?" Because this is some Blues Clues shit, motherfucker, going on.
Yes,
right now.
exactly.
What the
That's-
fuck, bro?
That's good right there. That's good right
really
there.
good. Yeah. 'Cause
Clip that.
Yeah,
What the
there you
fuck?
go. I mean, it is what it is. That's
There's your producer's cut open right there.
beautiful. Right there.
I knew their phase, but I mean,
Get on your
goddamn,
fucking-
I thought that the whole fucking time, man, when that was happening, you know.
It was
Super stale or
dude,
what was the what was the Airbnb one? Super
Superhost.
Superhost did this bit with the online live way better than they did it here.
I feel like this is where his daughter's like, "Hey, Dad, wouldn't it be so cool if I went Instagram Live and I was able to track down a serial killer?" And I'm like, "Sure." Just right now.
God damn it.
He's coked to the gills. Just okay, I got this.
We're gonna get this fucking shit done.
This sounds so accurate, Colonel. That's my headcanon now.
Yeah, that was a terrible point in the movie because that was the point where they just pretty much threw any sense of reality that they still had left gone.
Because she opens the door after by the way, he's kicking the shit out of the door the whole time this is happening for like
Oh no, he
Strongest door ever.
He unlocks the door though.
Yeah, he gets he picks the lock and he's just standing there and she's just standing there like this. Dude, I thought he was gonna Friday the 13th the game her ass. Bang! Right by the neck, you know? And it just didn't happen. He just said
The butcher didn't butcher.
yeah, he grabs the phone and looks it up and oh hey, look at that. How'd you do
He got
that?
away.
Guy's out.
The guy's gone. So yeah, exactly. Something that was going to take 15 minimum 20 minutes, 15 20 minutes to do happens in like 3.
Yeah, her Instagram followers found this man in like 2 minutes. It's unbelievable.
And
They're
got him
right.
out.
And got him out.
Destroys
Like-
the FBI. Destroys the accuracy.
Goddamn.
they have here. I mean, seconds. They were like, "Oh yeah, I live by a blue broken lion statue. Yeah, I'm right across the street.
There's a blue door right across
There
the
is a blue
street.
door there."
Oh,
Like, I thought the least likely thing that happened in this movie was Riley getting on stage and singing with her idol. But then this shit fucking happened. It's like, goddamn, it can actually get less realistic. Here you are.
it's mail.
Yeah, get on your thinking chair, get your fucking handy dandy notebook out because it's
The
Blue's
handy dandy
Clues
notebook.
time.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Uh,
Oh Lord. Anyway, so the prisoner gets released. She sends a message to, again, she doesn't even contact the FBI profiler that she is working with directly. She sends a message to her driver that's in the limo outside and says, "Call the police." But that's it. Doesn't say, "This is the fucking butcher's house." Just says, "Call the police."
that is the most she reached out.
And then, 95 SWAT team members show up. It took them longer to get to the house after she said call the police to her driver than it did for them to find that guy in the basement and release him. In movie
Right.
time. Check that out. Look at that later because
I don't need
it's
to.
true.
They all jump in the limousine, and then
He pulls some kind of Kaiser Soze bullshit.
somebody runs alongside of the door and goes, "Hey, I got this one, man. Take a hike." To the driver. He jumps in. He looks like a cop. You know what I mean? He's got a helmet.
Yeah,
on.
he's gotten the SWAT team uniform. Jesus Christ.
You know who it is, and then they find a trap door in the fucking house. It's sorry, yeah, we're spoiling the fucking house.
Ooh.
But
Yeah,
it's
they
so
lose him
ridiculous.
like 37 times.
It's so ridiculous here, man. At this point, so now he's got him in the limo, right? And
Yeah.
we drive, and
She's handcuffed to one of the rails in the back seat.
he cuffs her to the rails. And I don't know. Do we want to just go right through it, man? Go ahead.
Might as well. I mean, this train
Well-
wrecks.
Do it. Just go.
Let's kind of
Okay.
shift here. Let's
Yeah,
shift
we
here a
can-
little
we
bit.
can Sprinkle
Might as
out
well.
spoiling. That's fine.
Right. Before we get to the finale, we'll shift here on the Colonel Shyamalan's writing and directing. What'd you think? And before you comment, let me hit this line.
Oh my god.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. Again, from the directing aspect, I did enjoy this film because, like I said, it was not your average Shyamalan film. But however, the writing was, I guess, somewhat of your average Shyamalan written film, just trying to please his daughter, though. Like, especially this third act. That's where I'm like, I'm spoiling it because we already know what the topic is when we get the Vanity Project. I'll save most of that for that. It's just, I didn't know it was written in 4.5 fucking months, but now I know, I can tell it was written in 4.5 fucking months.
Yes.
It just poorly written. It was fun to a point. Then it just kind of went to shit. Like,
Agreed.
yeah, it just, it just, none of it was believable. But like I said, what we already discussed in the third act, we have more coming for you folks.
Yeah.
That level just it's just so unrealistic. Like I said, it just zapped me right out of it. Like it just really did.
Let me ask you this. First act, believable.
Yes, very.
Second act and third act, not believable at all.
No, but at
Would
least
you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I was going to say I enjoyed the second act. 5-finger discount and shit, and just fucking moving around. Like it was still fun to watch. Yeah, Act 3.
Most of the second act is okay. Most of it. But boy, when it falls, man, it's like a goddamn cliff. It's like down. It's over. And it doesn't really recover after that. I mean, the writing, I don't know, man. If this was the actual draft, it sounds like they just went, oh, that's it. All right, good enough. And this guy's renowned and known for rewrites upon rewrites upon rewrites to his own scripts. And maybe they just said, let's get this out. Let's get this. This is for the music career. Let's do this. Directing, it looked pretty good. I thought it shot neat. It had some interesting shots. It had some good framing. The pacing's pretty good. He knows how to make a fucking movie. They're all great. The acting, I can't complain about the acting at all.
Nope.
None of them.
Not even like the smaller characters.
No.
The thing, okay, this kind of goes to the writing, but again, and Colonel's kind of brought it up a little bit, that whole third act is meant as some kind of starring vehicle for his daughter. Because it pretty much takes all the fucking focus away from, well, not the entire third act, because we have the actual finale that we got to get to.
Right.
And that is another fucking shift of focus.
Yeah.
But let's say Act 3, Section A, is all about the fucking Lady Raven. And everything, I mean, you can almost see the camera go from Josh Hartnett, it's always close on his face for most of the movie. And then you see it pull away and it's like a mid-level shot. But then it's close up on Lady Raven's face the entire rest of the movie.
As the bathroom door closes,
Okay.
it stays with her,
And that, again, that irritated me. But he did shoot it well and, directed it well. Yes, Face.
Yeah. One thing I kind of want to just pull off of that, like early on in the movie, I didn't notice this later on so much, but early on, I got taken out. I noticed how it's like there was a dialogue scene between the dad and like the bully's mom, or assuming
Right.
the bully girl,
And it was
and
perfectly
it was like center shot, and then
Yeah.
it would cut to her center,
yeah.
and just center. It was kind of like it'd be like here,
Nope.
they'd be like next person here, and back to the next person here. It's just like the most weirdly shot conversation for a casual like blah, 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 blah. How are you doing? Great. How about you? Just like it wasn't a serious, important conversation at all.
Then Tarek says, needs a Scooby-Doo ending. Oh, well, that brings
you want
us.
a Scooby-Doo ending?
That brings us to
You
the
want a
finale.
You want a Scooby-Doo ending?
This one,
All
really
right.
Scooby-Doo ending.
It's like Oprah. You get a Scooby-Doo ending. You get a Scooby-Doo ending. You get a Scooby-Doo ending.
God, man.
All right, Ziggy, start us off with the finale, and after, well, I'll start with the end of the limo scene.
Right.
'Cause
Okay. Take
The limo gets surrounded by people.
Yes.
They find out Lady Raven's in there. They start taking her
Crack the
picture.
window.
Yeah. And she's like, help me, call the police. And people surround the limo so it can't move unless he just drove through the crowd, which he is a fucking serial killer.
Was waiting for it.
So
Yeah.
why didn't he do that?
Because part of the game, man, is the planning of it and the
I know.
taking of the.
I know. But but then all of a sudden the SWAT team shows up there. They're able to get there immediately. And they shoot out the tires. She gets out. She breaks out of the handcuffs somehow. She gets out of the limo. They shoot out the tires. They shoot out the driver's side window. Oh my God, he's gone. And you could see him in another shot, like put
Dude,
the hood up.
Spotted it as soon as the hood went up. I went, there he is.
Yeah.
Because it's very, where's Waldo-ish? He's there.
Right.
You got to look though.
Continue, Ziggy, with our Scooby-Doo
so
finale.
And they go, oh no, he must have been in the crowd, and he's gone, man. He vanished. And so they go, okay, get the kids. They gather up the kids. Kids go to the relatives, and our hero meets the guy she rescued and everything. Big hugs, and thank you and all that, and the slow motion kind of. I thought it was gonna be over right there. The way it was. Oh, he escaped, and that's it. No.
Nope.
No. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. So now we do another focus shift over to his wife, who we meet. When the singer comes over to meet the family, that's when we meet the wife. So now you're thinking, okay, she's in on this. I think. No, Crank. We need to do the proper.
Okay. Yeah, you got it. I'm on something else. I'm looking at something.
And so she's on the phone, and we're going to get your kids back to you. She's talking to the profiler, and, we're going to get him. Don't worry. And she kind of hangs up, and then she hears a voice. He's in the fucking house, and starts recapping things, and goes, I was really thinking about it, and how could they have known this unless you told them? So he starts putting together this whole fucking thing. Go ahead, Crank.
Right. Well, no, I was just going to throw this up there because somebody asked, BK asked, how did the cops know the killer was going to be at the show? That's part of the reveal at the end.
Yep.
I don't even think we need to really talk too much about that. Leave that spoiler free.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
but there is, and Adam brought this up. Adam and I have talked about this movie a little bit through Messenger. And he said, try not to give any spoilers away, but the scene with Josh and his wife in the kitchen was absolutely amazing. She looked genuinely terrified.
I've said enough then. But I mean, he lays it out, what he thinks is going on. I mean, and she's got to sit there and listen and try to convince him that's crazy. And I think we can get this, we can get this dropped, So I don't know. I got to stop there, man. I mean,
well, yeah, but I think we can say, there is a conflict there, but help arrives.
Help arrives just in the nick of time.
Right. And then the end, I will say this, the ending is left open,
Wide open.
sort of.
But very obvious.
Colonel, what did you think of the finale?
I think I liked it better than the first time I seen it when I seen Wayne's World for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I don't want to end the movie like this.
Yeah. For fuck's
Never
sake.
fucking endings, man. I was like, shit.
All right.
Let's do Thelma and Louise.
Oh
You know,
my god.
FaZe, what about you? What was the finale like for you?
I mean, do you want me to just get right to the very end of it here? Like,
No, I mean, just, what were your thoughts of it? Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Did it?
No, not really. It's- but there's one final thing to it that like kind of ruined it for me.
Okay. What was that?
Well, the final time when he's finally getting arrested, when he's finally being taken away, like he's the SWAT team's taking him to the car, and they barely have him cuffed. They're barely even carrying him there. And he has to stop
Are we gonna say it?
You
Are we gonna say
that
it?
part?
What happened? Or are we just gonna say this is something that a SWAT team that has just apprehended a fucking serial killer would not allow to happen?
Oh, ever.
Can we just leave it at
yeah,
that?
I mean,
Let's leave it at that.
do you want to just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Just something that a SWAT team would never allow in a gajillion fucking years happens.
If
What
he
if-
had moved,
if
if he
this
had
guy-
moved
yeah.
even a little bit to the left, he would have been shot in the fucking head.
Yeah.
He would have been shot, or at the very least tackled by 17 guys, man. So
Yeah.
this just would not happen, cannot
It's the
happen, doesn't happen ever.
It's absurd on top of absurd on top of absurd. It just doesn't stop being absurd throughout this whole fucking film.
The third act is especially just
Yeah.
Nonsense.
they're
Yeah.
piling on more and more in the sandwich of absurdity.
Shyamalan Ding Dong strikes again. God damn it. That's my thoughts on the fucking finale.
Last thing, well, one of the last things. Was this a vanity project? Was this something that he just did for his daughter?
I'm just going to say
FaZe.
this.
Oh, Colonel.
Let me because I've been holding this one in since we got started. All right.
Oh, that's
This
true.
was the second best music video that got turned into a film behind Hard Rock Zombies. So that's essentially what I felt like this was. This is not really, but it was definitely a vanity project. Oh, my daughter's so talented. Let me make a movie to showcase her music, showcase her acting skills. Like
This
and I've seen this done in the movie industry before, particularly in the independent movie film industry. It's Daddy's got some money. Daddy's got a talented girl. Like, what's the term they're using for it now?
Nepotism?
No, nepo baby or something like
Nepo
that.
baby, yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially what this felt like. Oh, my dad's rich. Hey, Dad, I can sing. All right, I'll make you a movie. We'll push your music out. We'll make you a star.
I mean, it's not awful. I if it was really fucking god awful, that would really suck. But I mean, she does have some talent. I'll give her that. Acting, I'm
She
not
does.
sure. I mean, she
think
just
she can
pulled her
sing.
weight. She pulled her weight. Well, I mean, but I didn't like. It wasn't believable to me. It wasn't really her acting.
Right.
It's just the scenario she was in. That
Right.
was horseshit.
She pulled her weight, but she couldn't even carry the entire third act, which she was pretty much, it was laid on her.
It was
Yeah.
laid on her.
And I don't think she pulled it off. She was
No.
okay. All right, guys, here we go. Final thoughts and ranking. I'm going to start with Colonel
All right.
because he is thoroughly,
Amused.
visibly unamused.
Very unamused by Trap. Like I said at the beginning, I love the concept. I was like, this is a really cool concept. But it's also M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I'm either going to like it or I'm going to fucking hate it. To his credit, I don't absolutely hate this movie. You've heard our complaints. It could have been better. But like I said, 2/3 of it was very enjoyable. Unrealistic, but enjoyable. I get the Wayne's World ending with the literal Scooby-Doo ending. Like, you know, too many false endings kind of ruined it. And the fact that, yes, it was a vanity project. Overall, though, I say it's worth a watch. I feel like I'm going too high, but I'm going to give it a 6.
All right. FaZe, let's go to you.
Go to me. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like I said already. It started off all right, like we've all been saying. Just it fell apart. Fell apart really hard. The parts where it fell apart really bothered me. The ending sucked, and you know me with shitty endings. It's a -2 right there. So, damn, a 6 does feel kind of high. I mean, the stars did a pretty good job in this. I'll match you, Colonel. I'll meet you at 6.
Fuck. Ziggy, Jesus.
Yeah, I love a good story telling and everything, and 2/3 of this movie was that. Well, just under 2/3 of it. But then, yeah, it just gets. You lost me at the selfless Wonder Woman act of Lady Gaga, man. I just don't. I did not believe it, and it would not happen. It just could not happen. It will not happen. And it just cost you a bunch of points with that shit. I don't really mind the open ending the way they did it this time, because I doubt we're going to see another one with him.
No.
God.
But you never know. I mean, they did that whole unbreakable thing, but
Yeah, that's true.
they just dropped the ball, man, with that third act, and it could have been a better movie, but it's a 6.
Fuck.
Sorry we disappointed you, Frank.
No, it's funny because here's what's funny about this. I walked out of the theater and I was thinking 6.
Yeah.
But now after talking about it for 90 fucking minutes, I can't stick with 6. I'm dropping it to a 5. This was middle of the road for me.
I feel that's so hard.
This is up there with, like, for this year at least, Tarot, which I gave a straight 5 just because the creatures were kind of cool that were in that. The story was okay, but it just didn't, the payoff wasn't good. So that one was a 5. But yeah, this one's a 5 for me. So 6, 6, 6, 5. Ooh. We gotta thank our members one last time. Thanks to our final girls and guys, Christy, C-Phase, Lorena, BD, Alex, and Robert. Our Crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn Enchilada Pod. And, of course, thanks to our camp counselors, Adam, Corey, Christy again, Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck Schick, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ.